Hi there, here we are, part 3 of the Flight Factor 777, and what we're going to do is we're going to take off basically. So actually starting the engines and taking off in this aircraft is so easy. It's a lot easier than some other aircraft because it's got automated processes. So I've said this before, basically on the overhead here, now where we configure the overhead, we just go across and down each panel, so to speak. So really quite simple and straightforward. So you can see me turning on all the switches there and ensuring that the overhead is configured correctly for flight. As I say, it's an automated process in the 777, so once you get the N2 up to speed and you've inject the fuel, you don't have to do anything else after that. In some aircraft, of course, you've got to switch over the power from the battery bus to the AC bus. You don't need to do that in the 777. So we've started the APU, and now we're calling for better pushback. I'm sure I don't need to tell you about this. Everybody knows how to use better pushback if they've got it. It's
ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
It's one of the best add-ons in actual fact in X-Plane. I think it's absolutely incredible. There's just a couple of things I dislike about it. No, one thing I dislike about it, and that is when you have to tell it to connect the tug, and also once you've connected the tug, you have to say once again where it is you want to go, even though you've pre-planned your pushback. And I think that was a subtle change that was made maybe something like 6 months ago, maybe a bit longer. So there you see me disconnecting the ground power units now because the APU is running. And once again, like I say,
okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Once you've got the APU running, you don't need to switch over buses or anything. It's all an automatic process, which is really makes a change from having to change over electronic buses. Just checking that all the equipment's gone, made sure that everything's gone. I remember the very first time that I flew this, I think I was dragging the air conditioning units.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
So there you go, they've added that bit in.
Connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
They've added that bit in where you should, you've got
starting pushback, and you may start engines.
So here we go, we go for engine start, and it's really just a case of turning this switch up at the top and then watching the N2.
Come back soon, cheers.
Thanks. And we need to watch the N2 to get up to around about 22, 25 on N2, and when you get around anywhere between 22 and 25 you can inject the fuel, which is what you'll see me do here. Now, in fact, it gets up to N2 very quickly on engine 1, and now that I've injected the fuel, the engine rotation through M1 is starting, EGT will come up, and you'll hear the wonderful sounds of these engines in the 777, Flight Factor 777. You can see we're pushing back as planned. Weather is pretty awful, and you'll notice that the left hand switches, the lights have gone off now, so the off will go off in a moment. Keep an eye on the switch up at the top left there. Once that goes back to normal, you can start engine 2, and there we go, and starting engine 2s, and once again watching for N2 to rise to around about 20, anywhere between 20 and 25 on N2, and then you can inject the fuel. Pushback almost completed. There we go. Inject the fuel.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Thank you. So we're almost ready to go. You notice I've only got one wiper on. Really no need to put two on, I don't think. The one thing I did forget to do on this takeoff was I forgot to set RTO, but that was a minor thing. I should have set RTO on the brakes for rejected takeoff, which I could have easily had in this weather because of the rain. This is the bit that I dislike, why they put that up there at that point, but you know, to disconnect tow. I mean, they could change that. I mean, it's not a problem. It's not a deal breaker in any sense. I know that the 777 has got its own pushback feature, which I'm going to have a look at this afternoon.
The bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Thank you, and see you next time. I am going to have a look at the pushback feature this afternoon after I've uploaded this video, and maybe record that. Probably will. But it would have been nice if they'd integrated better pushback into the EFB. They may do that in the future, who knows. In the same way it's integrated into the EFB in the Zebo mod. So there we have it. Engines are started, everything's cool. I need to set the MCP so you can see me. I've set LNAV, VNAV, auto throttles are armed. Make sure your flight directors are on, otherwise the autopilot will not work. Just checking, making sure the radios are on. And yeah, final cockpit check. Setting my squawk code 3601, and we'll start taxi any moment now, I think. It's a wonderful aircraft. You know, once you get past all of the kind of flight planning and configuration of the aircraft, and now you've seen how to do it, you know, the complex way and the simple way, actually starting this aircraft is relatively simple in comparison to others. The 757 is a little bit complex, in so much as that once you've got your engines rotating, you need to switch over power. But the 757 and the 767, I think, are wonderful aircraft as well from Flight Factor. But this, you know, once you've configured it for flight, starting it up is so easy. It does taxi a little bit fast, so you need to keep an eye on that. But also, you need to make sure that you've set your throttles correctly. I haven't done mine as yet. Mine is just a basic throttle setup, and really what I should be using is the data ref commands.
Caution taxiway. Caution taxiway.
The data ref commands which are available for the Flight Factor, and use those commands. The caution taxiway warning there.
Caution taxiway
Is the inbuilt RAS system, and basically it's telling me that there is a taxiway. I am approaching a taxiway. First time I flew, I think I was trying to figure out why is it telling me taxiway when, you know, because it'll even do it when you're on a runway. So if you're backtracking on a runway, it will say caution taxiway, left or right. So it basically what it's doing is warning you that you're approaching a taxiway and that there could be traffic there or whatever. So basically it's just doing its job. It's like a ground TCAS, for want of a better expression. So here we are, runway 12 for the Exmoor 1 Bravo departure. MCP is configured.
Caution taxiway. Caution taxiway.
I'm approaching a taxiway even though I'm on the runway.
Caution taxiway. Caution taxiway.
And another one as well. There we go. So yeah, MCP is configured.
Caution taxiway.
With heading, initial altitude, and VREF plus 20.
Caution taxiway. Caution taxiway.
That's another taxiway. And
caution taxiway.
Lift.
Caution taxiway.
Positive rate gear up. And there you have it. We're airborne in the foul weather in Cardiff. As I say, wonderful aircraft to fly. You can hand fly it, and it's got the follow flight director. So if the flight director goes to the left, then you turn left. If it goes to the right, you turn right. And similarly, if the flight director is up, you push up. If it's down, you push down. So you know, it's follow the flight director system on the primary flight display. I'll pull those up. There's the navigation display, the ND, and there's the flight director, which is absolutely wonderful. So much information on there, you can't go wrong. We're in LNAV and VNAV, as you can see, and just coming up to flaps up. So climb thrust, and away we go. Just about to climb out of the clouds there. The weather at Cardiff has been absolutely dreadful for the last few days. Today in the real world, today being the 2nd of October, the weather is actually dry. It makes a change. We've had rain all week. It's been absolutely dreadful. So there you have it. I hope that the whole tutorial has been really useful altogether. It's been a real pleasure actually producing this set of videos, and at the same time I've learned an awful lot. There's still a lot more to learn. As I said yesterday, I think what I'll do is I'll do some videos regarding the complexities of the EFB and maybe some others as well. So here's my favourite shot of the aircraft. I think it looks brilliant with everything around it. Hope these tutorials have been of some use to you. We'll see you soon. Cheerio. Oh, and don't forget, subscribe if you can and hit the notification bell. Bye.